Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Savvy Saving Stephanie's podcast, and I am Stephanie, your host. And today we are going to go over the activities that we did on our trip that I spoke about in episode 2. So this is episode 3, and we're going to go over what we did while we were in Europe. So just to recap super quick, my daughter and I went to London, Brussels, and Amsterdam on her winter break. She's a public school teacher, and so we went over. We chose those destinations, one because basically the ticket deal guided us there. So we scored that Virgin Atlantic 29,000 business class flight from Atlanta to London, and we love London. So good for us because that's always the way we tend to hop over into Europe. And so little by little, we stay like the day and a half, do something, and go on to the next destination. But just chipping at all the things we want to do and experience in London. So it is awesome. So that was a day we left on a Monday. And then, so Tuesday morning, we're there. We do the Revival Lounge, get breakfast, and we take the tube and walk to the hotel. She chose the Westminster by Hilton Curio or whatever. We don't have status with Hilton at all. So they just held our bags. They were super nice. Absolutely keep that one on your radar. So if a 24-year-old can pay for it, everybody else can pay for it. Super nice, super clean, the breakfast was amazing. Everything was just really good. So if that's the area you're looking at, definitely keep that one in your mix. But anyhow, they held our bags, and then our first thing that we did was we took a tube or whatever. She was in charge of the public transportation. I don't know. It all commingles in my head. We just went to Sherlock Holmes's museum. My girls absolutely loved that when they came out in 2010, and it follows that series. I know Sherlock's been book, TV shows, movies, whatever for a long time, but the 2010 BBC PBS one. So it looks exactly like you're walking into a movie set. The exact same thing. It's there. It's perfect. So it was a little expensive, I think, because you're just seeing stuff, and it's very crowded, so you can't like linger and really read and look. That was probably the downfall of it. But otherwise, done very well. Stayed in the queue. I was so proud of myself. I didn't get out of the queue. Behaved myself as an American. But anyhow, gift shop was awesome. Everything was just done well. It was clean, good, all that stuff. So we did that. And of course, I don't have to tell you the address. It's 221B Baker Street. And then we got coffee afterwards. And, we haven't found the greatest coffee place yet in England, London, or Amsterdam. And it's okay, because especially UK, it's, tea time. But I know there's going to be a good coffee place somewhere. And my friend who I taught the Points and Miles to actually scored the same ticket, first trip for her and her husband. And they stayed in London, and they stayed at the Residence Inn. I can't remember which one because there's like one or two over that way. She said her coffee was amazing downstairs in the lobby. So... check that out too. And she liked her hotel, all that. So the Residence Inn, the Hilton, Westminster, 2 good hotels. Last time we were there, splurged a little too much. Did the Hotel Indigo in Kensington. Obviously, it's an awesome, awesome place, but that price tag was a little too high for my budget. But anyhow, so then we got coffee. Then I think we're on a double-decker. Double-decker buses are so cool. And, we were just during the week, so got to go up to the top. It wasn't really busy. Then we had lunch at a Vietnamese place. What are those little sandwiches called? I suck at pronouncing things. I'm not even going to try. Those little sandwiches, like the spongy buns. Oh my gosh. It was so good. First one I ever had. It was awesome. And then we either walked or tubed or whatever. And we went to the Jewel Tower. Now, I love history. And we went to the Jewel Tower. It's from 1365 to 1366. And it was designed at first for as a private treasury. Then in the 1600s, it just became storage for Parliament. records. And then in 1869, it became the Center for Board and Trade Standards Department, which is the whole weights and measures thing. So it was really cool because it was like a small little tower. Like, it's not the Tower of London, but it just felt like a little miniature thing. You could see where the moat was. It was easy. It's not going to be crowded. So if you actually are going to London during, the summer crowded times or whatever, and, all the other stuff is just so many people, you might just scoot onto the side and you get a feel for history. You could read all the things inside. You walk up the entire thing. So it might be a good alternative that maybe some people don't go to, and you can get your fix and, your history fix. You feel like you're in old London, and all that without the crowd. So if you're definitely going in the crowded time, maybe check that out. Okay. So then we went back to the hotel and checked in, and then I have wanted to, so these are the things that I didn't do the last time we went, and I'm just kind of like, you guys are younger, I'm older, I got to do the things I need to do or want to do. So I really wanted a pub, like a real pub experience. Now I definitely want to go back one time on a Sunday. We haven't ever been there on a Sunday and do the Sunday roast thing. But there was like a list of the top 10 oldest pubs, and this was one of them. It's called the Mayflower Pub, and it's on. Now we walked in, it was getting dark, and like I said, my daughter just takes the rein on directions. You're not gonna be able to get it by tube. You're not gonna be able to get it by bus. You actually are gonna have to walk at some point. And she figured it out. It was a little bit, like you had to give a little effort to get there. But it was like kind of tucked behind it, and then it was like on the river. So like literally had like a little shoreline. So cool. But obviously the Mayflower, it gets the name from, supposedly that's where the Pilgrims were eating the night before, that they took a little boat down to wherever, Plymouth, did they go from? Yeah. Okay, I do love American history. I just can't remember exactly right now. But anyhow, it was so cool. Okay, so it was cool because the food was good. It was the experience I was looking for. It was small. It was old. So dim. There was an actual real candle, not a turn on candle, not a battery operated candle, a candle on our table. So cool. But I felt very American because it's obviously a very local place, and we didn't know, like, did we sit down? Like all those little things. You're just like, hi. I was just blaring, obviously. And that's okay. But I enjoyed it. It was good. Oh, and let me just tell you, I heard this from another travel blogger about dinners and reservations, because, Americans are different, like with reservation systems and all that. So there actually was a table that said it was reserved, but it wasn't reserved until like 8 or 8:30 or something like that. And we were there. No, we were there at 7:30. So it was 9 o'clock. I think it was reserved for like 9 o'clock. But we had to get to our next thing. So I think we were there at 7 or 7:30. So we like promised. I mean, we're just there to eat dinner and go, because we had 2 more things that we had on our list to do. So we just said, oh, well, it will be done by this time. Can you fit us in? And so then they released the table for us, or otherwise I don't think we were going to be able to eat there. So I had the meat pie, steak pie, whatever, delicious. And my daughter had the fish and chips, classic food, done well, perfect. I loved it. I am so going to be into the pubs every time we go now. And then we went to one thing my daughter wanted to do, and it was super cool that she found this. So it was called the Mayor of Scaredy Cat Town. So now, granted, remember, this is middle of winter. It's a Tuesday night, and it's like 7. Oh no, this is where we were at 7:30. So it's like 7:30. So we were at the Mayfield place earlier, or the Mayflower place earlier. So this place is like a speakeasy bar or whatever. You have to know this, the secret word to get in, and I can't remember what it was. But you find the door, you knock, you go in. The girl, she was so perfect. She just like played the part, got you going, whatever. But we were there on a Tuesday night during the winter. at like 7 o'clock. So it wasn't very busy. But we got to experience that. And her drink was so cute. It came in a teacup. Now it's an alcoholic drink and it came in a teacup with like 2 little biscuits or whatever. You go down to the basement and you have your drink. Super cool. Totally a fun place to do. Obviously not the little kids. You couldn't do that. But if you have older kids, it's just fun. Okay, so then we went to the ceremony of the keys. Now, I think it's like, I'm going to guess like 50 people a night. Or you have to get tickets online. They're not very expensive. It's one of those things kind of like the Anne Frank house where it's like they open up, they release, you got to get them. And if you're not on time and setting a timer and sitting down, you're not going to get it. But if you do that, then you're probably going to get it, just kind of like Anne Frank tickets. So we did it, we got it, and they weren't very expensive either. But you have to be at the Tower of London at a certain time. They gather you, they bring you in, they give you a little history lesson. Our beefeater guy was awesome. And it's like real. They're real. They live there. The whole thing was super cool. You can't video or take pictures at a certain point. We saw a U.S. dignitary there. Sometimes they have like real, military things going on. And he was saluted, which as an American was kind of cool that I saw that happen. The whole thing was just really, really neat. So if you love history, tell your people, I know it's late at night, just do it. It was just a very good experience. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Sorry about that. So anyway, at that point, it's cold in London at this point. It was cold that night. And we just wanted to get back. I was very far from our hotel. And we got back. I think we did the bus. I don't remember. But anyway, obviously, after that full day of doing stuff and have gotten off the plane, we crashed. So that was Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we wake up and we have breakfast. And it was a good breakfast downstairs. And we didn't know because we're not like diamond status or anything like that. And she didn't, I don't know. I don't know if breakfast was included or if she accidentally bought the reservation with breakfast. But we got breakfast and it was so good. So anyway, we have to hit the train. So we get to the train station and we take the Eurostar to Brussels. When we get off at Brussels, it was a little stressful of trying to find, and here I am sitting and telling my daughter, we're so blessed. English is everywhere. We'll be fine. Well, English was not everywhere in the local train station in Brussels. So there was a little stress, but we found it. And then we get on the local train and we get to our hotel. So there's obviously a little bit of walking. Totally, this is why we're Team Carry On. But anyway, she picked the Moxie, which is Marriott. And we got there. Another fantastic hotel. She did a great job. And given the time that we were there and her status, I think she's gold. She platinum, silver or gold? I'm platinum, but that wouldn't have counted because it wasn't my reservation. But anyway, so we did get to just check in. They had a room ready, so that was always nice, right? So we get to check in, do all that stuff, and then we walk around and we find one of the things we did was we found Audrey Hepburn's birthplace because Audrey Hepburn rules. She is a role model. She's just so classy. So we found Audrey Hepburn's birthplace, and then we had to go get some fries. Now, I think I'm going to try to pronounce this right, and if I do, it's a miracle, and if I don't, get used to it because I don't know how to pronounce anything. So it's frites flague? I don't know. It's like just a little stand in the middle of the square. Totally worth it. Yeah, so it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, it's on TikTok, I'm sure. Yeah, they were great fries. And really, fries were so good. So then we walked to the palace and I did, since we're Catholic, we walked into some Catholic churches. It was just okay. I mean, like any church is better than the 1970s cedar things that we have over here. But I don't know. We just felt Brussels was a one and done. That's what we call something where it's like there's only so much time in life and there's only so much money that Brussels was a one and done. Not anything bad. It just, I don't know. We didn't, it was okay. So, and at that point we just kind of walked around a little bit and then, my feet were killing me because I did the stupid thing. I bought shoes. I wore them the one whole day when I was subbing at school. And I'm thinking, okay, these are fine. These are fine. I bought Sorel boots and I bought them directly from them. And that's going to come in handy later. But oh my gosh, they just hit the balls of my feet. You know, like when you wear like a pair of high heels too, and it's like, oh, these will work. These will work. And then you go on through the night and it hits the ball of your feet wrong. I was in pain. It was just ridiculous. I couldn't deal with this anymore. So in Brussels, I bought the pair of Adidas trainer shoes for travel that I've been wanting to have anyway. So then I'm just going, oh, dang. So that takes up souvenir space because remember, carry on. I just spent $80 more than, I wanted to spend and all that stuff. But it ended up being perfect because they are the sneakers that I wanted for travel, right? For European travel, just a day travel, whatever. They are the sneakers that I wanted, and they fit perfect. I've been wearing them ever since we got back. So they are great. And so I decided to be like, let me just see what Sorel will do, right? Because I didn't buy it at Neiman Marcus. I didn't buy it at Macy's. I didn't buy it anywhere else. I bought direct from them online through Rakuten to get some points. But I lost those points because I returned it. They accepted because they were warm, but they weren't like destroyed or anything like that. And so apparently they have super good customer service. And I got the email where it's going to be refunded. So it was a wash. So $80, perfect. So lucky. That worked out. But anyhow, that is what we did Wednesday. And then Thursday morning, we woke up and we went to this bakery. Oh, it's a French bakery. Renard, Renard. And we just got a sandwich. Oh my gosh, I could have eaten everything there. It was so delicious looking. We went to the park and we just ate our sandwich. And then we found the Grand Place, like their main square. And we did walk around there. And that made us feel a little bit better about Brussels. And we got our waffles there too. Obviously, this is like a little bit later. And they have the coolest things. So I guess through excavation, archaeological stuff or whatever, there's these big circle things and they have like a glass top. And it shows you what they found, like bricks and stairwells and stuff like that in the middle of town, underneath you. Like all these ancient cities underneath you. So that was a really cool thing. And then we obviously had to do waffles. And we did the two kinds of waffles, the Belgium and the Liege, whatever. Like, again, I don't know how to pronounce anything. But anyhow, at this point, it's been like what? We left Monday, Tuesday, it was Thursday. I know that I'm an old lady, but I love milk. I have milk every day. And so this is like, cannot have waffles. And it's been 3 days that I haven't had milk. I am going to have milk. So so the place we bought the waffles is kind of like a lot of outdoor cafes. You're just walking around. Right across the street was, I could probably pronounce this wrong too because I think it's a French name. But I'm going to say Carrefour. Carrefur. It's a grocery store that's all over Europe. Apparently, when we were in Italy and all that, I've only gone into the expresses because I just thought this was huge. And I took forever to find the milk. I bought, what did I buy? I bought a quart of milk because they didn't have like another smaller thing. I don't care. The guy at the waffle place was like, what? And I'm going, so we sat outside. So I ran across the street and I brought my milk and I had gotten just a cup that should have had coffee in it. And I asked, for that. And I didn't care. I'm old enough. I don't care what you're saying. You can look at me, make fun of me. I don't care. I had waffles and milk and it was so good. Those waffles were delicious. So anyway, after that, it's time for us to get back on the Eurostar and go from Brussels to Amsterdam. So we did that, and then I'm in charge of that hotel, and I did the Kimpton. Oh my gosh. We scored on the hotels, but I love the Kimpton. Now, I am platinum with IHG, but I did book this through the American Express portal. So I did get that $100, which was fantastic. I got the $100. I got... What else did I get? Can't remember. $100, cheaper fee than paying upright, whatever. But sometimes when you book through those portals, Amex, Chase, Bilt, you might not get, or Capital One, you might not get the status. They don't have to honor your status. IHG, totally becoming one of my favorite hotel chains. they honored my status, and I got all the cute stuff in the hotel and the thank you note and dear Stephanie, all that good stuff. But anyway, it was a great hotel. So we get to check in immediately, all that stuff. And then my daughter realized that, so she actually knits things that you can actually wear. So she had lost one of her needles, one or two. Anyway, she couldn't knit anymore because she lost at least one on probably the train. And so we're like, we look it up. And so we found this store. It's called Yarn and Hook. So if you are in Amsterdam and you knit and crochet, Yarn and Hook was the cutest store. The guy there is so talkative, so nice. He is, I don't know if he's born in Amsterdam, but he's like totally born and raised in the country. And chit-chatting, gave us some ideas of things to do. And, sorry, I have all my children emergency bypass. And it was just such a nice conversation. Like, again, that's just something real. And the quality of the yarn was so nice. And the merino wool was way cheaper there than it is in America. So anyway, so she picked out, she got her needles, obviously. And she picked out a couple more colors, and she's going to like knit socks, I think, or something like that. So anyhow, and then after that, he told us like to kind of walk, I'm going to say it's an alleyway. You're going to think of like New York City maybe and think of it just the side streets. Let's call it a side street instead. So he told us like to go down these side streets instead. And it's so much more pretty than, it's just nicer. It's a little bit calmer, quaint, and all that. And you can do that at least during the day. And we did that. And we walked and we just saw, how beautiful it is. I'm really starting to love Amsterdam a lot. So then anyway, we went to get dinner, and we went to this ramen place by our hotel, and it was really, really good. So then that was that. And we go back and read because we just don't stay out late. Then we wake up Friday morning and we have the most amazing breakfast. Well, all the breakfasts over in Europe at the hotels, like, I almost cry with tears of joy when I say it's for free because, like, and I'm appreciative, and all the years I've had the free breakfast at Fairfield Inn, and I'm just thinking, yeah, free breakfast or whatever. Oh my gosh, American food is just such crap. Excuse the French, but I know how to say that word. Our food is crap. And so in this hotel, there is, I wish I could be so more tech savvy and show you the pictures and stuff like that. I've got to work on that. I realize that. But if I wait for that, I'm not going to get this information out to you. And I do have good information, and I hope you're enjoying it. But we were on the first down to breakfast, and there is this beautiful sourdough loaf of bread just on this cutting board with a knife that's meant for you to cut your piece of bread off. And it was still warm. And I cut it, and oh my gosh, and you just have some butter on it or jam or whatever the heck you want. Or eat it plain. It doesn't matter because it's like real bread that you can eat without getting a headache. I mean, now I'm not going to say no medical advice here or anything like that. But like, if you absolutely can't have gluten, but if you're just trying not to have gluten because you get bloated, you don't feel good or whatever, it's because you've got American toxic food over here. Okay. You can go to Europe and eat bread, and it's beautiful. Totally have to say that because that's part of your travels, So anyway, we had a wonderful breakfast, and then we walked to the Anne Frank house because that's when our tickets were. And that's my second time there. I will keep on going. Whoever I go with, I will keep on going. You can't take pictures there either or anything like that. That is a must. You're going to hear that said time and time again, and it's real. Work it in if you can to go to the Anne Frank house. It is so well done. And so you get this is the best museum experience I've had too with like the audio things. So you obviously tell them the language, you get it, and you just like hit it up to the number, and then you hear it. So everybody can be at their own pace. It flows perfect and it's logical. Obviously it's a great museum. So then after that we walked to the bench that was from Fault in Our Stars. I think that's the movie. Anyway, one of those movies. I think that's the movie. And took the picture there with my daughter on all that stuff. And then we went to, I was so excited the last time I was there, the vending machine food. It's spelled Febo, but the guy at Yarn and Hook told me it's pronounced Fabo, because I'm saying Febo. I'm looking at that and going Febo, but he says it's Fabo. And so he gave me the history on that and all that stuff. So for like $3.14 on the conversion, you just tap your card and you pick like some random thing. Like there's these like fried things, right? So I think ours had beef in it or whatever. I think it's the funnest food ever. And it's just there on the street. It's like literally this like corner vending kiosk of food. It's so cute. But anyhow, after that we walked to Our Lord in the Attic. Now again, you've heard that I say that I'm Catholic, and so this is something I wanted to go to. Last time I didn't want to go, or we didn't do it because I was with my nephew, and it's in the red light district, and I wasn't going to, and I've never been to the red light district, and so I didn't know how it goes down, and I was not going to bring a teenage boy and be party to that. So here we are during the day, and I'm with my daughter. I'm like, okay, we're doing Our Lord in the Attic. So what is that? Okay, so Protestant Reformation comes to all of Europe. Obviously, places like England, it's a bit crazier, bloody, it's chaos, right? But in the Netherlands, it was a bit different because they had a law of like freedom of conscience, whatever. So it's basically kind of like the way they are now in the red light district. Okay, do what you want. Just don't do it in the street. I don't see it. And they're coffee shops, So it's just kind of like, all right, do what you want, but, just don't see it. So there was never any bloodshed, anything like that. So eventually what happened was there were churches built inside these canal homes. So over the span of 200 years, so from like 1686 to 1886, there were 20 in Amsterdam. This is the only one remaining because it makes sense, because once the cathedral, I think, of St. Nicholas came, and you can be Catholic again out in the street in 1886-ish and stuff like that, that as people bought those houses, I mean, that's prime real estate. You need another bedroom, you need another thing. So they just, converted them back to a real house. So this is the only one left. So again, if you're Catholic or like history, or just it's so unique to see like a church inside of a house, and you can't see it from the outside, just kind of like Aunt Frank's house where it's like hidden, you can't see it. So anyway, that was awesome. We were there for quite a while, and then we went to a cheese shop. It's called Henry Willig, again Willig, and it was so interesting, and I wanted to finally have room. Even with those shoes, I still had room to take some shoes back, or some cheese back, sorry. And the one I wanted, I could not buy and take back because my country won't allow it to come in because it has raw milk. So that was the one that tasted delicious. The sampling of the raw milk cheese wheel, even with it being coated and stuff like that, my country would not let me have it back in my house. So that was a big boo-hoo. Not a fan of that. And then I had to go to, oh gosh, I forgot the name, something. Can't remember the name of the stroopwafel place, but it was where I had gotten the stroopwafels for my other daughter last time we went, and so that was her request again. So I got her a tin of stroopwafels. So anyway, then after the cheese shop, we went back to the hotel, and remember that it said that I had the $100 credit? Well, we used that at the dinner at dinner at the restaurant downstairs, and it was absolutely delicious. And it was perfect. I think it was like it came up to $95. So literally nailed that perfectly and used that credit, which was good because we just we left early in the morning. So we had to leave like at 5 and got back onto the train at Amsterdam Central, got to the airport, which is super easy. Just know, even though the Amsterdam airport is huge, getting to downtown super quick and easy. And then we flew from Amsterdam to London on KLM, and then from London back to Atlanta in the peasant class of economy. same flight, but we were in the back. So sad. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I really thought like mentally I was going to struggle, but I'd rather go places, throw me an economy, than not go. So anyhow, let me just tell you. So those are the things we did. Now this is the grand total that I spent. So I am splitting it a little bit with my daughter. So she, between the two hotels, but she used points on one of them, hotel, and she bought some things, I bought some things, she bought some lunches and dinners and stuff like that. So we kind of just went back and forth. And she had bought the Eurostar tickets online before we even left. So I think she spent $700 or $900. My grand total. Now I bought the airfares, so I had the taxes, and the Kimpton and all that stuff because I did not use points. Remember, I used the Amex portal. My grand total was $1,912.43. Now, if I was able to use points, which I didn't have a bunch of IHG points at the time, I do now, but if I was able to use points for my 2 nights, that would have saved almost like $500 and some odd dollars, almost $600. And then, well, the sneakers I added that on at one point, but now that I got that return, it's kind of like a wash. But if I didn't buy the sneakers, didn't have to buy the sneakers, and I was able to use points at a hotel stay, then my out of pocket would have been $1,229.19 for 4 full days in Europe. Eating, a lot of museums, transportation, some souvenirs, activities. So that is not bad. So I hope this has helped. Leave comments below. And I am sorry that my tech savvy skills suck and I don't have pictures and cute things like that. I'm working on it, but I'd rather just give you the information and we chat and you talk and ask me questions than not do this at all. So next up will be our trip to Puerto Rico. So that's in a little bit. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to hopefully get out a packing video because just show you what I'm bringing and carry on only. And for those of you that think you can't do carry on, you can. Life is so much better with carry on. So anyhow, that is it. We had a great time. I hope you join us in the next week or so when we get the packing video out. And take care. Enjoy. It's spring finally. So hallelujah. Oh, excellent. I can't say that. I'm so sorry. Have a good day, and we'll see you for episode 4.